Good morning everyone. So I'm Manilin J. Alboro. So I will report the Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. This is the 18th poem of William Shakespeare's huge series of sonnets published in 1609. By that time, Shakespeare was already a hotshot with his most famous plays behind him. So over a couple of years, Shakespeare sat down and wrote 154 of these little poems. So this is a life of William Shakespeare. Was probably born April 23, 1564, the date that is traditionally given for his birth. He was John and Mary Shakespeare's oldest surviving child. Their first two children, both girls, did not live beyond infancy, growing up as the big brother of the family. William had three younger brothers, Gilbert, Richard, and Edmund, and two younger sisters, Annie, who died at 7 and Joan. Shakespeare's only son, Hamlet, died in 1596 at the age of 11. His older daughter, Susanna, later married as well-to-do Stratford Dr. John Hall, their daughter Elizabeth. Shakespeare's first grandchild was born in 1608. In 1616, just months before his death, Shakespeare's daughter Judith married Thomas Queenie, a Stratford vintner. The family subsequently died out, leaving no direct descendants of Shakespeare. Their father, John Shakespeare, was a lighter worker who specialized in soft white lighter used for gloves and similar items. A prosperous businessman, he married Mary Arden of the prominent Arden family. John rose through a local office in Stratford, becoming an alderman, and eventually, when William was 5, the town believed much like mayor. Not long after that, however, John Shakespeare stepped back from public life. Shakespeare, as the son of leading Stratford citizen, almost certainly attended Stratford Grammar School. Like all such schools, its curriculum consisted of an intense emphasis on the Latin classics, including memorization, writing, and acting classic Latin plays. Shakespeare most likely attended until age of 15. William Shakespeare died on April 23, 1616, so 400 years ago, in the small Warwickshire town of his birth. He was 52 years of age, still young, or youngest as less by modern reckonings. Through his death might have seemed to his contemporaries like an early departure from the world. So this is the work of William Shakespeare. So he wrote the blockbuster plays of his day. Some of his most famous are Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, and Hamlet. It has been almost 400 years since he died, but people still celebrate his work all around the world. So this is a accomplishment of William Shakespeare. So William Shakespeare accomplished a lot of things. He wrote 154 sonnets, 38 plays, and 2 narratives. Romeo and Juliet, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Hamlet, and Macbeth are amongst his most famous work. He wrote about issues that are apparent society, which also include rather tragedy and comedies.
Hi everyone, I am Jinilin Basilan, the Group 1 presenters, and today I will be giving a poetry analysis of William Shakespeare, the Sonnet 18. So the background information, that sonnet was written by William Shakespeare, and he composed his sonnets between 1593 and 1601. Although he published in the Sonnets of Shakespeare in 1609. All of his sonnets consist of 154 sonnets having 14 lines of iambic pentameter, the three quatrains, and a couplet. Quatrains has 4 lines and couplet has 2 lines. It has a characteristic of rhyme scheme. ABAB, CDCB, EFEF, and GG. So the poem reflects the rhetorical tradition of an Italian or Petrarchan sonnet. Shakespeare, who uses sonnets 18 to praise his beloved beauty and describe all the ways in which their beauty is preferable to a summer day. The stability of love and its power to immortalize someone is the overarching theme of this poem. So we have here the poem Sonnet 18. So we have here the 14 lines. So the 1 to 4 lines is the first quatrains. The 5 to 8 lines is the second quatrains. The 9 to 12 lines is the third quatrains. And the 13 to 14 lines is a couplet. But today, I will explain the first quatrains and the rest is my group mates. So the first quatrains is, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. First, I will explain the first and the second line of the first quatrains. The first and the second line is, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. So, in these two lines, the poet is asking his beloved whether he could compare his beauty to a summer's day or not. If he were to compare his beauty, then he would really come to know that his beauty is more gorgeous, stunning, and more constant than the summer's day. Literally, the word temperate means constant and never changing during the course of time. He says that the summer season is not an everlasting thing. It has to face its end as soon as the winter takes its place. So if you look at the very first line of the sonnet, it appears that the poet is addressing his beloved. We don't know whether the address we don't know if whether the address is present at the moment or not. Yet the word "thee" suggests that he is addressing his beloved who is present before him. It's pertinent to recall here that the person he is addressing is a mystery. Nobody knows about the identity of the beloved of the poet. It is really shrouded in mystery, and no one has given a satisfactory account of his beloved. So the word temperate means that moderate, not going beyond limits, not excessive, but here it means constant, everlasting, and consistent. The poet wants to be clear, and the beauty of his beloved is not going to change, unlike the summer season, which keeps on changing. The next line is the third and the fourth lines. The third and the fourth lines is Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. So in this line, the poet goes on to explain what he means by saying the first two lines. He says that the beauty of his beloved is more beautiful and constant than the beauty of summer. We know that the beauty of summer is totally dependent upon flowers. That's why summer looks beautiful and charming. Thus, in the third and fourth lines, the word darling buds, which means flowers, are a symbol of beauty. The gust of rough winds shake the flowers to such an extent that they fall down on the ground, making the summer lose its beauty. That is the reason the poet is of the opinion that the beauty of summer is not everlasting. It is a subject to mortality, while the beauty of his beloved is everlasting. We know that when we hire something on a lease, we have to follow the terms and conditions of the lease, like the agreement of a particular period. After the expiry of that particular period, we have to return the thing to its owner. In the same way, the summer has signed lease with nature for a limited period. After that specific period, it will have to go, while winter will replace it. Hence, its beauty remains for a specific period as compared with the beauty of the beloved of the poet, which is the constant and doesn't change with the passage of time. So let's proceed to the next quatrains by Divine Adlawan.
So we are now here with a second quatrain. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. So sa eye of heaven, that is the metaphor for the sun. We all know that sun can get too hot and sun can also sometimes shine so bright. So that is eye of the heaven, which is the metaphor for the sun. And often is his gold complexion dimmed. So ang his, sa kana siya nga part, it refers to the sun that is often dimmed. So what could possibly dim the sun baron? And that would be clouds. So ang gold complexion or ang kahayag sa sun kay matabunan with the clouds. So those lines, there are just Shakespeare's musing on whether or not to compare this lady to a summer and finding reasons not to. Into every fair from fair sometime declines by chance or nature's changing course and trend. So everything that is fair but and beautiful in summer will eventually decline snow and it usually dies into the throes baron of winter. Pareha ng trees baron or yung flowers that bloom during the summer days, they will eventually fade and goes away from by chance or nature's changing course or in short natural events baron. So basically, this line just means that beauty doesn't last forever. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou hast. So, sa kanang last word, that is the short for honest or possess. So, sa kani siya nga line, it means that you, unlike summer, will not fade. You will not decay compared baron sa flowers and tree baron. So, basically, your fair will not be lost. Imuhang beauty o ang imuhang fairness, they will not go away with time as it does with kanang so many other things.
Nor shall death brag thou wonders in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. The poet is referring to the longevity of his beloved's beauty in these lines. Nothing, he claims, can take away the beauty of his beloved, and that death will not be able to drag him into the shadow of death. Death has been personified by the poet as an antagonist. So the concept here is that death will not be able to pull the poet's beloved into his grave, since he is immortalized through the poet's eternal verses. Nothing can change the beauty of his beloved, who has been immortalized in this poet's writings. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. The sonnet's final two lines form a couplet in which the poet discusses his arsenal in his struggle against mortality and death. He claims that his poems will be read for as long as human existence remain on this planet. He refers to human existence on Earth with the statement, "Men can breathe or eyes can see." Such a detailed reference stresses that even if only one aspect of human existence remains on Earth, the poet's words will live on. He goes on to explain that the immortality of his poems will grant immortality to his beloved.
Hello everyone! So in continuation with the Sonnet 18 poem written by William Shakespeare and was introduced by the previous sets of reporters, let's go down to the analysis and insights of a certain poem. So it is virtually presented by yours truly, Stephanie Andales. So before anything else, before we go down to the said topic, let's think first of a quick trivia. So I have a short trivia for you, a quick trivia for you. So, little did you know that Sonnet 18 is considered one of the most beautiful pieces of poetry by William Shakespeare. So, in this category, we will dig deep and know why this certain poem considered one of his most beautiful pieces of poetry. I've wrote 4 main points that will give you hints of the analysis and learning insights regarding the poem Sonnet 18. So the first is the praise the beloved's beauty. So William Shakespeare uses Sonnet 18 to praise his beloved's beauty and describe all the ways in which their beauty is preferable to a summer day. So as you've noticed, guys, there is a certain line in the poem stated that the eternal summer shall not fade. So it is clearly stating or indicating that the beauty of a person will last forever and never dies. It depicts deep feelings for a certain person. So the poem like symbolizes a deep feelings to a certain person. So as you know, William Shakespeare begins his sonnets by introducing 6 of the most important themes. So 6 of his most important themes. So these are the beauty. First, second is time. Third is decay. Fourth is immortality. Fifth is procreation, and last is selfishness. So sa kaning category na fall ang Sonnet 18. So it could be beauty, it could be time, no? So these are the main important themes of William Shakespeare's poems. So lastly is love is an even more powerful force than nature. What do they mean by this? So a lot like a traditional love poem, the poem Sonnet 18 depicts the time versus love conflict. So it stated there that time can destroy the soft buds. Even the beauty of the summer season is not everlasting, guys. So every natural object is subjected to death and decay with the passing of time, of course. So only the beauty of the poet's beloved friend is immortal. So as you've noticed, no, there are a lot of themes, or more than 1 or 2 themes in the said poem. So if you just read and get the gist of the said poem, you'll know why this certain poem is considered one of his most beautiful pieces of poetry. So these are just the 4 main points that I wrote to give you just a hint of a short analysis and insights of the said poem. So thank you for listening, everyone.